You saying, Akeem?
Yeah, I'm good, my guy. I'm good. What you say?
I'm blessed, bro. What do you make of yesterday, bro? Straight
Boy,
in Aston Villa, bro.
boy, Aston Villa. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a mad one because they've had a lot of criticism this season because um they've kind of let things slip. To be honest, obviously they've had a bit of luck, like that goal that should have been um given with Sheffield United, I think, a couple of weeks ago. But generally speaking, they shouldn't even be in the position they're in now, innit? They had like 3 or 4 opportunities this season to win the game or pick up a point, and they just bottled it in the last 15, 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I think there was a stat yesterday that came out. They've conceded more goals after the 60th minute than any other team in the league. So they shouldn't really be there based on how well Dean Smith kind of set out that team. But obviously, they've had a couple of shaky defenders, to be honest, this season. And as far as yesterday goes, they were on top in it. Like Arsenal never looked like they were going to score. It's same old Arsenal. Do you know what I'm saying? I know you've probably heard from your guys, deluded Guna, over the last couple of days, gloating about the FA Cup. Bro, it just sums up Arsenal, in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, beat one of the best teams in the country and then you lose to one of the worst in the league within days. Do you know what I'm saying? What
two of the best in the country.
Yeah, two of the best. What did you think about the game?
Well, to be honest, yeah, I honestly put it down to just fatigue in it, if I'm honest. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal played a few games in a short period of time. It was the same with United. Do you know what I mean? When United played that Chelsea team, I just think that lack of rotation, these men ran themselves into the ground. And I think it was pretty much the same with the Arsenal performance. I'm not reading too much into it, to be completely honest. I think that the players are probably tired after playing 2 hard games, very close, and then Villa just came into the game and done them, bro. And obviously Villa had more to play for. Arsenal ain't playing for nothing in the league, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously, I think that was the game that they had to win to have a chance of getting into the Europa League by league position, in it. And now that's gone down the drain. Am I wrong? I'm not even sure. So now the only way they can get into Europe
by winning the FA Cup.
Exactly, which is a mad one. And let's not get it twisted. This is Arsenal's worst ever season if they lose that FA Cup final, innit? You know what I'm saying? Because in all the other years, when they've gone with no trophy, they finish sixth or better. Or if they've even had any, in fact, that's it. They've never had a season where I don't think they finished anywhere lower than 6th. So this is a terrible season, whatever happens, even if they win their last game. And I don't know, man. I'm like, well, they've had 3 different managers this year. Yeah, cup run or not, bro. I personally have a lot to say about. In fact, I don't have a lot to say about man like Arteta, in it. I just feel he's got the foundations of a good manager, in it. Like I feel like you can see you can see he's intelligent. You can see he understands the game. He understood it as a player. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just feel like there is a slight agenda to where he is as a manager. Like he is grossly inexperienced in it. And I feel this team, especially with where it is now, it's going to take a lot of money and a lot of time. And the Arsenal fans need to be patient because Arteta is not going to suddenly turn this into a title challenging team in a couple of years. No chance.
He don't have the money. He doesn't have the money in the backing to do that. I think he could do that if he had the money. Like, make no mistake about it. Whether there's question marks about his management, in terms of his coaching, there's no question marks, in it. Like, he's a very
coach. There ain't no question marks about that. But for Arsenal, where they are, the sort of players that they've got, they need someone they don't need just a good coach, in it. They need someone who is going to instill some leadership qualities and instill some experience in.
Well, they need to sign leaders and experienced players, but they don't have the money for that, I don't think.
They ain't got the money, which means if you ain't got the money to do that, then why are you giving it? Unless you don't mind going 2 or 3 more years, being way out of the race of Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, City, then you need to just basically you need to align your goals, in it. If you're going to do that, you're not going to put money into the club. and you're going to hire an inexperienced manager, regardless of how good he is at coaching, then you got to accept what it is. And what it is that Arsenal's going to go another 2-3 years at least being about where they are now. Because the league ain't gonna, obviously, I know we're talking about it today. The league ain't going to get any easier. The strength of the teams even coming up now, bro, it's not like what it used to be. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not going to just come up to get blasted 3 or 4-0 every week. They're coming up spending big P's. Do you know what I'm saying? So
even when Fulham came up, I think they spent 150 million, didn't they?
Yeah, 110, 120 M. Do you know what I'm saying?
Something silly like that, yeah.
You're getting promoted clubs spending more money now than some of these so-called big clubs. Do you know what I'm saying? That's bad. So now the gap is going to be smaller, and every game's going to be hard. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't even write what an easy game is now. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know, but I would say that Villa, shout out to Villa though. They obviously put together the performance when they needed to, and Trezeguet in the last 4 or 5 games has been quality. Do you know what I'm saying?
He's turned into a baller, bro. Do you know what I mean? But you know what it is, yeah. They have something to play for at this time, and that's what makes them dangerous, isn't it? That's what makes Aston Villa dangerous, bro. That's what makes a lot of teams dangerous at the moment is they've still got stuff to play for. So that's my only thing with Arsenal. That's why I'm not reading too much into that performance, is because do they really want to play in the Europa League? If I was Arsenal, I wouldn't want to play in the Europa League, because with how weak their squad is, man for man, not playing in Europe would actually do them a favour next season. I believe so anyway. Like, if I'm not going to be in the Champions League, I'd rather not be in the Europa League either. Obviously, your ego will make you feel like, oh, we're not playing in Europe and people are going to laugh at us. But actually, for the team, you saw what it done for Chelsea. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any shame in not playing in the Europa League. I think that tournament's crap, to be honest.
You know what? I think to some extent, I think it depends on, do you know what? It depends on what club you are, innit? I feel if it was Chelsea or Man United, like I think the Europa League has been there, done that, got the t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? The last 4 or 5 years, even, I think both teams have won it. Like, or Chelsea last won it 7 years ago, or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, end of the day, Man United and Chelsea have been there, done that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like Arsenal, I've always said Arsenal, like, they need to win a major European trophy. Like, it's been what they won a Cup Winners' Cup 30 years ago, or 28 years ago, and even that is frowned upon because it's the Cup Winners' Cup. Like, I know it don't count. So I know even the Europa League. I know the Europa League is frowned upon as well, but the Europa League's still a European trophy, in it. It puts you in the European Super Cup. It makes players who want to come to the club. It does make you look more attractive. Do you know what I'm saying? As a European Cup winner of some form. And Arsenal never won one. They've never won one. They've bottled it the one time they were in the final. They ain't won one in the last 30 years, which is embarrassing. You look at any other, you probably look at the top 20 European clubs in European football. Arsenal, alongside PSG, are the only ones that have underperformed in Europe. They ain't won nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Even Seville have picked up a couple. Do you know what I'm saying? Sevilla. So I just think that is something that Arsenal need. They need to win something other than the FA Cup, man. Like, Arsenal they ain't even won the League Cup for 30 years, bro. Like, I know that's nothing, but come on, man. Like, you can't just hang on. They can't just hang on to the FA Cup as their only trophy in the last 15, 16 years. Come on.
All right, now when you put it like that, I get it, innit? But I just think that, like this guy said here, if they're in the Europa League, they get laughed at anyway. I just think, that you're going to get laughed at regardless, my guy. I honestly do. As a football fan, bro. If you're in the Europa League, man, are saying, oh, you're playing during Emmerdale and them things. Bro, like, you can't...
Hollyoaks and that.
Hollyoaks and that, bro. You know what I mean? Or you're playing while the youths are in the chicken shop after school, then 5:45 kickoffs and that. Bro, you can't win, innit? So my thing is, I'd rather just not be in it. Obviously, I'm not coming from a place where my team's never won a European Cup and that, so maybe that's why I'm seeing it in that way. But honestly, the Europa League, I just don't see the big flipping deal about it. Honestly, bro, I really don't.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think there's no prestige in it anymore, innit? You know, the maddest thing is, when it was the UEFA Cup 15, 20 years ago, it was respected to some form, innit? It weren't respected like obviously the Champions League, but it was respected, innit? When they changed the name, for some reason, and they made it into some league format, yeah, some lengthy league format when some random teams were coming in, yeah. That's where it kind of lost more stature in it. But UEFA Cup was a big trophy back in the day. Do you know what I'm saying? But
it was respectable.
It was respectable. Do you know what I'm saying? But having said all of that, bro, if you ask me, FA Cup or Europa League, I'll still take the Europa League. Do you know what I'm saying? I'll still take the Europa League over it.
So would I.
Do you know what I'm saying? Them domestic trophies now, like that's the reason why they had to make it. Because let's not forget, the FA Cup never used to have that clause of getting into Europe as winners. Yeah, it was something that was, I think it came in and then it left and then it came back in again. And the reason why it keeps coming and leaving is to incentivize people. Remember, there's been many teams over the years, big clubs, including Man United, that has rested players for the FA Cup and League Cup. They don't take it seriously. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. The domestic trophies, I don't want to go out. I don't want to be like, I don't want to go on like the Premier League and the Champions League, the only important trophies in it. But end of the day, like the Europa League is something that is the third best out of all of them for me.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. Like I think any European trophy is still gonna trump a domestic trophy. Period. Do you know what I mean? Unless it's the league. I'd rather win the Premier League over the Europa League. But other than the Premier League, the Europa League and the Champions League come second and third in it in trophies.
But would you rather win the Premier League to the Champions League though?
No, I wouldn't.
Even now, as a Man United fan now,
no,
you still take the Champions League, yeah?
Yeah, I would, because to win the Champions League, at some point, you'd have to beat some of the best teams in Europe. You have to, innit? In the Premier League, bruv, you could win the Premier League without beating your rivals, blood. You can do it. Just beat everyone else. Beat everyone else, bro. Like, you could literally win the Prem without beating anyone in the top 6. You could just draw with all of them. Calm. Just beat everyone else, my guy. You know what is it? That's just what it is. Like, in knockout competitions, you have to beat these men, innit? You have to beat them. So I'd rather win the Champions League. You know what I mean? I'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League. Especially, look how many Premier League titles that we've got. So
it's true. It's true. It depends on the club, innit? Every club's different. And that's why that obviously leads to what we were talking about, innit? About Arsenal. For Arsenal, obviously the FA Cup is like the Champions League final in a couple of weeks, innit? That is everything for them. Whereas Chelsea, win, lose or draw, they've probably already got they'll have top 4 by then. The season will be done. And they're still technically in the Champions League. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though they've got a lot of work to do. So I don't think it means as much to them. So maybe that's going to be an edge that Arsenal's going to have in the final. Do you know what I'm saying? They might just try harder because they need it. Because I don't know if Aubameyang's going to stay if they lose that game, to be honest with you. So
that's it. That's a good point. That's a very, very good point. Let us know in the comment section, guys. What would you rather win, the Premier League or the Champions League?
Oh yeah, you know what? Another thing is as well. Remember, if Arsenal win that game, they actually go in the Europa League anyway, even though they don't want to. So that's another bad one.
Yeah, and also the people talking about David De Gea. Someone asked me, "What do you think's wrong with De Gea, bro?" I know that Akeem's been defending De Gea, so we might as well talk about this now, innit? And this is summed up perfectly. No matter how good milk once it's spoiled, you throw it. That's it, innit? You know them ones. They're like getting nostalgic over David the Howler, bro.
Listen, yeah.
He's an average goalkeeper now, bro. That's what he is. He's average.
Listen, yeah. I ain't out here listen, I'm not even defending David De Gea like that, yeah? Don't get twisted. He made mistakes that are inexcusable. And end of the day, there are better goalkeepers out here. There's a couple of things that I don't agree with, however, yeah? Number one is I don't like when players get disrespected when they've done a lot for the club, innit? So
I don't mind.
So there's many levels that you got to respect him on, yeah? Respect him on the fact that Edwin van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel, which by the way, I'm not saying that David De Gea is better than, but many say are better than in relative terms. Bro, these men had Rio and Vidic in front of them. And some of these men had Dennis Irwin, Steve Bruce, Pallister in front of them, yeah? Look at the crap that he has had to deal with in front of him for the last 10 years, yeah? And I'm not a goalkeeper, but I've spoken to keepers, and trust me, the strength of your defense is a massive confidence shift when you're playing, innit? Yeah, I'm not making excuses for man, but let me tell you, I know we ain't talking about that game on Saturday, but Harry Maguire had a howler. When Harry Maguire had the ball and I was David De Gea, I'll be shaking. Because at every point, man looked like he was either going to make a mistake, he was going to get shifted by a player, and look how he ultimately was at fault for 2 of the 3 goals, many would say. So that's another story. And you know what?
If my man never had rich T fingers, you would, bro. We wouldn't have conceded 2 of them goals anyway, bro. I don't get
bro, 100%. But you know what? Chelsea fans in this chat now will agree with me, in this, it's the same thing that happened with Petr Cech at Chelsea, the disrespect Chelsea fans showed for Petr Cech when he was leaving, like man didn't save them and pretty much win them 3 or 4 Premier League titles, was mad. And the way I see it, is David De Gea, he had an opportunity to leave, bro. Let's not get it twisted. In the last 10 years,
he wanted to leave and he tried to leave, bro.
Yeah, but either way, even whatever the reason is, in the last 10 years, he's deserved at his level. My man should have 2 or 3 Champions Leagues in his belt. He's probably
that's life. That's life.
No, it's life, bro. But what I'm trying to say is, bro, he could have left, gone to Real Madrid, and 2 of them 4 Champions Leagues that they won or whatever, he would have been the goalkeeper for. Let's get to it.
Of course, absolutely.
So all I'm saying is, he showed some degree of loyalty. We don't know.
He didn't. So no loyalty. He wanted to go, and we told him he can't go.
No. He wanted to go. We told him we can't go, but he still stayed. He still stayed.
He didn't have a choice, man. He was on the contract.
Bro. If he had a choice, but this is what I'm saying.
If he had a choice, he would have left the King.
Yeah, 100%. But
he didn't.
But here's the thing, though. If he was doing a Dimitri Payet, or many other players that you know of, who goes AWOL or doesn't want to play, Jose Mourinho, Van Gaal, Oli would have benched them, and he would have played Romero. He clearly still was showing. He may have wanted to leave, but he showed attitude as a winner and a leader. In the club, and I'm saying a leader because he's more of a leader than Harry Maguire is. Based on not just his experience, on what he's done for the club, and the way he's led by example for the last 10 years. The final thing I want to just quickly say about David De Gea is if he's going to leave, stop gassing up. We need to calm down about the Dean Henderson thing. It's still a massive risk, isn't it? He's shown his ability for Sheffield United, which, by the way, he's made 2 or 3 mistake howlers this season as well. But people don't see that.
No, keepers make mistakes.
He makes mistakes. And Dean Henderson ain't played at this level before. So when he's under the lights and he's got 80,000 people surrounding him, let's see how well he performs. We don't know. It's a lottery. Oblak is not a lottery. That's a good switch. But and don't get twisted. I want that Dean Henderson to come to back to United and do well. But let's not act like it's not a risk in it. It's a risk. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a risk, and that's all I want to say about that situation. But David De Gea,
that man with the facts, bro. Let me tell you something about David De Gea. Forget this sentiment crap in it, David De Gea was our best player, and he won Player of the Year, whatever, 4 times. Cool. So what, bruv? You know them ones. It's testament to how crap our defense was and how well he played. Cool. What does he want? What does he want for that? Hey, listen, bro. He's the highest paid goalkeeper in football, and he's barely a top 10 in the world goalkeeper. That's a fact, innit? So I don't really care, Akeem. Honestly, he stayed at the club because no one else wanted him, bro. He waited to the last possible minute to sign this new contract. Nobody wanted him. That's why he's still with us. He's not with us because of any loyalty, of any love of nothing, bro. He stayed with us because we made him one of the highest paid players in football and the highest paid goalkeeper in football. He's on nearly 400,000 a week. So because of that, I do not respect him, purely just for staying. He stayed because nobody wanted him in the second instance, and in the first instance, we never let him go, bruv. So the LVG fax machine thing, where he got dropped for Romero because his attitude was bad and he wanted to leave. So I'm not hearing this attitude thing. His attitude stinks, bruv, first and foremost. So as LVG wouldn't have dropped him. And then secondly, he's throwing balls in the goal. Do you know what I mean? What game did we play? Was it Watford or something where the ball bounced and went through his hands and that? I can't remember what game that was, but I mean this season. It wasn't too long at the near post and that. The guy's attitude is atrocious, Akeem, bruv. It's atrocious, fam. His body language is shit as well. If it was Martial, man would be talking about body language and that. Same with Pogba, man calling him Jogba and all these things, even though he runs more than everyone on the pitch, bruv. David De Gea's body language is disgusting, bro. He's always walking around with his fucking shoulders stooped, head looking down at the floor. When he makes mistakes, he looks like he doesn't care. Bro, he's disgraceful, blood. He is. I don't care. He's the highest paid player at the club, bro. Yeah, he's on Alexis Sanchez money.
But you know what? But you know what? Here's the thing. He's the highest paid player in the team for a reason, yeah. And he should be the highest paid player up to this point. No, up to this point. Up to this point. Not saying moving forward. Yeah, he's a goalkeeper, and that sums it up on, like you just said, how bad Manchester United have been in the last 10 years. He's been that good that the rest of the team has been that bad that he does deserve the most amount of money. Up to this point, I'm not saying moving forward, but up to this point, 100%. Yeah, let's not get twisted. When he signed the last contract, every Man United fan agreed, pay him whatever the man wants. Yeah,
no, bro. I said he don't deserve the money, bro. It's on video,
bro. He was saving Man United week in, week out, innit? Yeah,
he wasn't at that point. He wasn't.
And let me say another thing.
Yeah? At that point.
Let me say another thing. Yeah, about all of this. Yeah, is again, let's just be. And I know we've already said about Dean Henderson and his mistakes. Let's not get it twisted. Some keepers that certain man say is top 3 in the world, which is nonsense. Like Ederson has made 3 catalogue errors this season. 3, and luckily only one of them, in fact 2 of them, has led in Man City losing. And that's the reason why there's no agenda to Ederson, because Ederson makes a mistake, but the strike force is good enough to make them win 3-1 or 3-2 instead of his mistake being the headline. Manchester United, when David De Gea makes a mistake, more times than not, we lose. Ederson is a catalogue of errors. Catalogue, yeah? But because he's good with his feet and he plays for Man City, top 2 in the country.
What kind of errors are we talking about? Because here's the joke, yeah? I saw, you see when he came out and he got lobbed, yeah? He came out and he got lobbed. You were blaming him. Bruv, Pep brought him in, yeah, to be the sweeper that starts football, yeah? So if he plays the ball out, yeah, and someone on his team loses the ball and he gets lobbed, it's not his fault. Facts. It's not his fault. Because that's what he was brought in to do a job, bro.
Then that means the tactics are wrong.
But then you can question Pep's philosophy and playing out the back. You can't blame the goalkeeper for that, because the goalkeeper's doing what his manager asked him to do, bro. When the ball...
Yo, reception. I think Rants has lost his reception still.
Yo, Ak, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, yeah.
Yeah, you see the Bergwijn thing, yeah, where De Gea punched the ball into the goal?
Yeah.
That's his fault, man. I don't care. He's done too many of those. Listen, yeah.
I agree.
De Gea, let's break it down, innit? Man's talking about what De Gea used to be, bro. I don't care what he used to be, bro. Wayne Rooney used to be one of the most exciting footballers in history, bro. You know what I mean? And now he's overweight playing centre mid, fam. Who cares, innit? Like, all I'm saying is right now, forget the sentiment in football. David De Gea is not levels, bro. He's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world. He don't deserve to be. We've got the highest paid left back in the world that don't deserve to be. We've got the highest paid striker in the world that don't deserve to be in Alexis Sanchez. It's a shambles, bro. I'm not trying to hear no De Gea. De Gea's not commanding in the box. He's shit with his feet as well. And his distribution's rubbish.
Listen,
he's only a good shot stopper, bro. Like, he's not a top goalkeeper no more, bro. Man need to just get rid of the sentiment.
I agree. Listen, I'm not trying to live in the past, innit? End of the day, every dog has his day. We saw Wayne Rooney fizzle out in it, and he played 2-3 seasons longer than he should have been at Man United, innit? I get that as well, yeah? And I'm not saying David De Gea should move on. I'm not saying he shouldn't. Do you know what I'm saying? He should move on. But let's not forget, and I know you cut out just when you were talking about Ederson. Bro, like I said, you could say it's down to Pep Guardiola's tactics and blah, 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 and I'm not trying to shift it. I know we're talking about David De Gea, but we're talking about goalkeepers in general, yeah? And the fact of the matter is, David De Gea makes a catalogue of errors, and he's made too many this season, especially in the last 2 years. He's made too many. Yeah, but let's not go on like it don't happen all across the board, innit? There's only 2 or 3 keepers in the world that I don't see make big errors over the. And only one of them is in the Premier League, and that's Alisson. Yeah,
even he makes mistakes, bro. Every goalkeeper makes mistakes. That's not the point. The frequency of De Gea's errors, is what makes him a liability. Because everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes.
Cut out.
Yeah, there's not a goalkeeper that don't make mistakes, bro. Like it simply doesn't exist, Akeem. My point is, the frequency of the mistakes is the problem, bro. Do you know what I mean? David De Gea is not a top player no more. Like he's not. Do you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. And there's an argument also. De Gea's best seasons for Manchester United were when our defense was super shit and he was called into action loads of times. So maybe you have to question his concentration as well. Maybe his concentration ain't good enough to be a top goalkeeper. If he's not being constantly worked, then he's not good, bruv. Do you know what I mean? And so again, that means he's just not a top level goalkeeper no more, bro. Why can't you stay switched on?
I get you. I can't disagree with that, innit? So if that happens, if he's on his way out, give him the play Romero for the last couple of games, whatever. But when he leaves, all I'm saying, Man United fans, give the man the respect of what he's done, innit? That's all I'm saying. Give him respect. Keep it moving. Give him his testimonial done, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
But that don't mean that you can't criticize him for what he's doing. No.
Bro, I'm not saying we can't criticize a man. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, bro, like anyway, I said it just a minute ago, innit? Let's not act like some of these men that are heralded as one of the best in the world aren't making catalogues or errors every year.
But this isn't the argument, Act. My thing is, you see, when De Gea was in top form and he was a top goalkeeper, we gave him his flowers. It's not like we never appreciated him when he was doing bits. We did. Same way we were telling him how good he was when he was playing well. We're now telling him how shit he is because he's shit, blood.
Fair enough.
That's it. You have to take the rough with the smooth.
Yeah, I get you. And and to be honest, there's a few players. There's alongside David De Gea who needs to leave in the summer. There's a few players. I was talking about that yesterday. Players that matter as well. We got to give. It's time to go now. It's just time. It's time now to let go of all of them old wood. That's it. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So I get you. I can't disagree.
Get him out, bro. One matter as well, great guy, get out, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? This is what it is, bro. One matter don't offer. Man don't care about how nice a guy he is, bro. Get out, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, we let Angel Gomez go, and we got one matter on the bench. What does he offer? Nothing, bro. Yeah. He offers nothing, bro. You ain't even got, at least Angel, is athletic and he can get around the pitch at very worst. One matter, what is
One matter's finished now.
He's a nice guy, bro. What we're keeping him to just flip and do up ambassador and that. Bro, piss off, man. Do you know what I mean? United are a joke, bro. How are you getting rid of Angel, but you're keeping one matter? One matter's been done a long time, bro. When's the last time he's came on and even influenced a football match?
Yeah.
Terrible. And you can't have him there for his presence and his experience. He's not no flipping leader in the dressing room. Look at him, bro. You don't even speak, blood. Man just out here writing words. Bro, I'm pissed off, man. You know what I mean? Like, come on, brother. Now, I mean, I've got no room for sentiment with this football team. It's either you're good or you're not good, bro. That's the way I don't care what you used to do, blood. You know them ones that if you're in a relationship and you used to be the model boyfriend, as soon as you're not the great boyfriend no more, bro, what can you say to your girl? I used to treat you good and that.
Yeah.
But she don't care what you used to do, blood. That's what you're doing now, fam. She's not happy now. You know, like that. You can't say, "Oh, remember that time when I done this for you." Who cares, bro?
Yeah, no one cares.
You know, this is what I'm like with these footballers. If you're not doing it now, I don't care what you used to do. It was nice then, but we're in the now, innit? And you're not levels, blood.
Especially when Man United need to make that jump to be in title challenges. It's time to get rid of this dead wood still.
This is it, bro. I don't have no time for it, my guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Man, I have no time for this idiot business, bro. So really, when I say respect the hater, I do respect him. I respect what he was. I don't respect what he is now. You know that, man. So all these sensitive snowflakes, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? This is how it is, bro. I don't care what it was. It's about what it is, and what it is he's not levels. Simple, innit?
Yeah.
That's it. I respected him. I gave him his flowers when he was doing bits, blood. No one can ever say David De Gea was underrated when he was doing well. Everyone respected him. Everyone did, and now he's crap. So now it's time to say that it's crap, blood. That's it. Yeah. You know them ones there. It's not disrespectful to say that he used to be good and he's not good no more. It's a factual statement. The numbers back that up. What's disrespectful about it?
Looking aside from that though, and looking further afield, what's your opinion then of our back line then ultimately? Like on the bench, like what needs to actually change? Because
I don't know what kind of defense we're trying to build, did it? Like, you know them ones. Wan-Bissaka, great defender.
Because what's your
on the ball. You know them ones there. Luke Shaw, decent defender, no assists. You know them ones there. Like Lindelof, good on the ball, weak as fuck, shit in the air. Harry Maguire, shit on the ball,
and the captain,
good in the air sometimes, runs like he's in porridge, and and he's the captain. But then the goalkeeper's crap. Fam. When I look at the whole back five, man can see problems with all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, what kind of defense are we trying to build? Are we trying to build a defense here that are good at playing out from the back? Because if we are, Wan-Bissaka's crap on the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Harry Maguire overplays.
Wan-Bissaka's the only player out of the five that should probably survive long term. Do you know what I mean? Well, obviously that ain't gonna happen though, because Harry Maguire's been made captain, so he's gonna be here for another 10 years. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Long term, literally, Wan-Bissaka is the only one that's good enough, and even him, if I was the manager and I was trying to build a ball playing team, I wouldn't have him as my right back because he's terrible on the ball. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So it's kind of like when I look at the defense, they look like strangers put them together.
Yeah.
Like there's no correlation. It looks like 3 or 4 different managers' players.
Yeah.
But it's not. But it's not though. Do you know what I mean? Because Shaw's still there because Oli wants him there. Harry Maguire's there because Oli bought him. Wan-Bissaka's there because Oli bought him. Lindelof starts every game because Oli likes him.
But you know, just even talking about Maguire and even just the captaincy, like people say that he's got it because he's the only likely constant fixture in that team. Obviously, besides the new signings like Bruno and Wan-Bissaka. But do you feel like there's someone else who should be captain, or do you feel he's still the best person even if he's dead?
Who, Maguire? I always said that Pogba and Bruno were the captains in the team, bro.
Pogba and who?
And Bruno. They're the only two.
Bruno will never be captain, so Pogba then, yeah?
Yeah, of course. But I always said that. You know them ones there, bro. I always said that. It's one of them ones. And in the future, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if they give Rashford the armband. You know them ones, because they just love him. You know, like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Rashford gets the armband in like 3-4 years. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Do you know what I mean? Because whatever I think about what his ceiling is as a player in terms of ability, no one can question that he always gives 100%. He knows what it means to put that shirt on and play for the club. And even when he's playing crap, he runs himself into the ground, didn't he? And he's got more ability than flipping Harry Maguire. So, you know the ones. Even Marcus Rashford, even if he got the armband, you know what I mean? I'd rather him be the captain ahead of Bruno, bro. I mean, not Bruno, ahead of Maguire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is it. I'd rather they done the sentiment Mank academy player thing and gave it to Rashford. You know the ones. Like, it makes more sense.
Harry Maguire is being primed, like, do you know what I'm saying? He's going to be the media. He's going to be the media darling. Do you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it'll be perfect for England long term as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Centre back, Manchester United, English. Do you know what I'm saying? Captain as well. So it all fits. It all fits the bill. But Rashford should be captain in it, even now, I think. But end of the day, Harry Maguire, all we can do is hope that he's going to get better. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. At the moment, I'm not sure how much he's worth if he was to be signed now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Harry Maguire. But if we went to put him up for sale now, we wouldn't get our money back. That's for sure.
Even if he's English, nah?
We ain't getting our money
You
back.
might get 65. You might get 65 still from someone.
Bro, if you're lucky, you might assess 60 and that. Like, he's definitely lost 20 million, bro, because he's shown that he's not good enough to play at that level, innit? Like, he's not. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of them ones with the Harry Maguire situation where it's the old English overinflating the prices of players and overestimating how good players are. You could go and spend the 20 million and get a player better than Harry Maguire from La Liga or from France. That ain't even a household name.
Last couple of weeks, he's been acting like a bit Phil Jones. Still been acting.
Bro, he's been moving like man's on heroin, fam. That's what he looks like. He looks like a junkie out there, bro. Like, real talk. Like, it's mad. When I look at this team, yeah, like someone was saying, since lockdown and that we've been looking shaky and that. We haven't been looking shaky, bro. We've been looking exactly the way we've always been looking. It's just that a lot of people don't see the signs when we're winning, Akeem. It's only when we start dropping points, they start seeing things that I've been seeing even when we're winning. And that's why when we're winning and I say things and people are like, oh, we just won, why are you so negative? It's because I'm looking at the game holistically, bro. I'm not just looking at the result. Whereas these football fans just look at the result and then all of a sudden when we draw, then we lose. Then they're like, oh my God, this problem, that problem. It was there when we won.
Yeah.
But you, man, didn't want to see it. And you were calling me negative for highlighting it.
Trust me.
You know what I'm saying? So now, bro, everything that I see
there's a lot of problems behind that. Behind that front five, there's a catalogue of errors. Trust me. Catalogue.
There you go, bro. Like, at the end of the day, he's bro. Honestly, when I look at him, he's in the same bracket as a lot of these Premier League level centre back. They're not great. You know what I mean? All these Mingses and the Akes and the Lascelles, bro, and all these man. Yeah, Harry Maguire's that level, bro. The difference is because Harry Maguire looks a bit prettier on the ball to some people, people think that he's better than these men. But the reality is he's not even better than Duncan, then, man. He's that level.
I remember seeing a headline still. A man said when he signed to Man United about the new John Terry and that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the agenda. That's what's going to happen because he's English centre back. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're going to get that. You're going to get that. And now Harry Maguire's got a mad amount of pressure on him. He's probably just sitting there thinking, I don't know. Like, I think at the moment he might need to take, if he makes another mistake, he might need to just take sit a couple of games out. In fact, we can't even sit man out because of Bailly being injured. But either way, Harry Maguire can only get better in it because this has been a terrible season for him. I don't think this has been a good season for him at all. The only positive though is he gets in about the goals, or I think as an attacking threat he's quite good as well. So
he's got one goal in the Prem, I think. One headed goal. I said about the goals. What goals?
He's got one goal, but he's up in. He's in the corners. You know what I'm saying? He's up in there, innit? You hear Maguire!
He misses, bro. And then one ball hit him in the face last game, bro. This guy's pants, bro. Like, listen, he's rubbish, mate. You know what I mean? And when I say rubbish, I mean compared to what we used to call good centre backs, he's not level. Like, he's like a Phil Jagielka level, bloody.
Yeah.
Even a prime Jagielka is getting nowhere near Man United.
Yeah.
Nowhere there. You know them ones. Like, he's seen it was Everton.
Find our version of VVD people.
Bro, like, he's not even better than Cahill, bro. A prime Cahill was better than him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not good, blood. Do you know what I mean? Most of these men that rate Harry Maguire are teenagers, fam. Anyone that's actually seen Premier League era football, you understand Harry Maguire's rubbish, bro. He's rubbish.
Yeah, this is what happens when you buy players just because they've had a couple of good seasons in the Premier League, and you assume that they're better than pretty much anyone else you could have bought from Europe. Do you know what I'm saying? There's their man that would have been better than him, but it's done now.
If Harry Maguire was African, yeah, fresh off the boat, they'll be saying, "Oi, watch this dodgy African at the back. He's always got a mistake in him." You know, I'm a lion, though. They'll be like, he's always got a mistake in him. You know what was there, fam? Listen, that's what they say about Harry Maguire. He's always got a mistake in him and that. You know what was there, man? You know, the Africans have just got a reputation for just being mad erratic.
For real.
That's exactly what they'll be saying about Maguire when he's passing the ball across his own box and that. They'll be like, "Oh, he's always got a mistake in him." You know,
I guarantee the media will be slow on criticism to Maguire. That's what he's
slow, lads. Come on, brother.
You already know. See what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Bruv, listen, he's got a mistake in him at all times, bruv. And I mean, certain man will say he's better than Van Dijk, bruv. He couldn't tie Van Dijk's ponytail, blood. I told man already.
Trust me.
He not levels, blood.
Trust
You know
me.
what I'm saying, bruv?
But that's when you come out of the. That's when people come out of stats, and it will be like, oh, he's done more clearance. He's done more clearances than Van Dijk. He's done more clearances than Van Dijk and all this nonsense. Do you know what I'm saying? But
these men in the comments are killing me. You see this brother? Yeah, I did say it, bruv. And I've already said it. At the end of the day, Man United needed a centre back. So, you see me, yeah? I'm the kind of guy who I don't care if he costs 100 million. It's not my money, fam. You know them ones that keep like all these man. Like, bruv, if United are haggling, like even with the Sancho thing, they're saying they're 20 million out of valuation. Bruv, just pay the money.
Yeah.
You know, like that. And then if Sancho does shit when he comes, who cares, bruv? Guess what? Pay the money anyway. You've got it.
And that's why every team's different. Listen. Regardless of what we think of Maguire now or before he signed to Man United, Man United needed him, innit? So
yeah, they needed a centre back.
Yeah, because he was still better at the time than anything else Man United had, innit? So just pay the money and sign him. And
exactly. There you go. So that's why I said pay the money. Don't respect Jack Gielka. Man, I know him, bruv. Man's not on the things, blood. Not on the things, blood. There you go. And look, prime Gary Cahill was good, blood. Won every trophy in the club. Exactly. And Harry Maguire is dead, fam. You know what I'm saying? So that's the joke. And I seen someone, look, yeah, some Man United fans said Bruno over KDB. What a joke, blood. We might as well go into the Kevin De Bruyne thing. Kevin De Bruyne was spamming hard yesterday, trying to break that assist record. You know the ones there. Where does he rank, yeah, in the top central midfielders, yeah, in Premier League history, bro? Your opinion first.
Central midfielders, yeah?
Yeah.
You're talking about his position. Okay.
Yeah, what is his position? This is what I'm going to say, because he's not a central midfielder, guys. Sorry to break it to you, mate.
He's not a central midfielder, innit? But either way, if you're talking about his sort of position and what he does, which is ultimately a playmaker, or he ultimately runs the game in terms of creating chances for the team, innit? At Man City, it ticks with him playing. I feel in the last 10 years, obviously, he's been one of the greatest players in the Premier League based on the last 10 years, isn't it? I think if you're looking overall, I'm not going to say the best, just because I don't think I've seen better than KDB in terms of
Akeem, you're saying that your Wi-Fi is moving
what he does. Not necessarily. Listen, KDB, what he does when he's not on the ball, in it, yeah, I respect in it. I respect the way he gets back. I respect
1 minute.
the way he gets back in shape. So that's what he's.
Yeah, Akeem's going to jump back in. Fans calling players bottless for 2 years now. Why Oli and this coaching staff has been garbage. Feeling this is the sideline game manager. This is a joke. I have to agree, bruv. This guy's saying KDB so overrated. Hold on, Akeem's jumping back in now, guys. Just a second. Or is he? You know what I'm saying? He's saying KDB's overrated. He's a number 8. I agree, 100%. I think that KDB's a number 8/10, just like Bruno Fernandes is. He's definitely not a central midfielder. This guy's saying Bruno is dead. In terms of tech, Bruno is as good as Kevin De Bruyne, not in terms of consistency. In terms of tech, I don't think he's not close to Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think so. I think Kevin De Bruyne is a lot better technically than Bruno Fernandes. I think his weight of pass is just much better, bro. His range of passing, long and short, is much better than Bruno's as well, bro. I think that Bruno's got more of a killer instinct in terms of to try and score goals. But I think all-round passing, I think Kevin De Bruyne is clear of Bruno Fernandes still. Not going to lie. Okay, is that Akeem there? Your guest will connect. No, I don't know. I think his Wi-Fi is bugging or something like that. He always goes out to the right and crosses. Listen, for Manchester City, Kevin De Bruyne plays as a right midfielder. Inside right, in it, midfield. He doesn't play as a centre mid or box to box. Kevin De Bruyne is definitely not a central midfielder. He's not. If you look at his heat maps, he plays largely as a right midfielder, bro. His heat map looks like David Beckham's heat map. So to compare him to a box-to-box midfielder or a central midfielder, it's a disservice to box-to-box midfielders, bro. It is a disservice to box-to-box midfielders because they actually do more in the game than Kevin De Bruyne does. But Kevin De Bruyne puts up amazing numbers. So does Bruno. Bruno puts up amazing numbers as well, bro. Do you know what I mean? But because in the modern era, all people look at his numbers instead of the all-around game, you're getting Kevin De Bruyne talked into the central midfield conversation and stuff like that. For me, centre mids, when I'm looking at Premier League history, I'm looking at Patrick Vieira's, I'm looking at the Paul Scholes', the Steven Gerrard's and all of them. Them man done more in the game back to front as midfielders than what De Bruyne does for Man City. But what De Bruyne does is in an attacking capacity, he's very, very clinical, either making chances or scoring goals, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? His defensive output ain't as high as the other midfielders I mentioned. It's not, but that's not what his job is. In this system, De Bruyne receives the ball and he's ahead of play most of the time. Yeah, that's why with the Kevin De Bruyne comparison, it's more accurate to compare him to Bruno Fernandes than to compare him to Pogba. Because Pogba picks up the ball off the goalkeeper a lot of the time. Kevin De Bruyne never picks up the ball from the goalkeeper. Kevin De Bruyne is ahead of play most of the time. So, honestly, yeah, box to box, Yaya Toure is clear of Kevin De Bruyne as well. Clear of him. Do you know what I mean? But Kevin De Bruyne is not a box to box. Cesc Fabregas, again, box to box, was better. Man saying Bruno has a twin turbo engine. KDB would be perfect for Harry Kane. Yeah, he would be. KDB is like a winger and a centre mid combined. He's not a centre mid though. He's not a centre mid at all. Kevin De Bruyne is a number 8. That's what he is. He's a number 8, bruv. Like, he's a number 8. That's what he is. He's in between a 10 and a centre mid. He's definitely not a CM, bro. He's not a CM. Now, he played centrally against Arsenal and he got cooked. He got absolutely cooked against Arsenal. Paul Scholes couldn't run, definitely couldn't tackle either. He couldn't. You're right. You're absolutely spot on. Paul Scholes, his range of passing was so good. You know what I'm saying? His reading of the game, his movement and stuff like that. Bruv, Paul Scholes' range of passing is something that man have really seen in the Premier League, innit? The range of passing. But you're right, Paul Scholes was limited. He couldn't run, he couldn't tackle. Frank Lampard as well couldn't really run, wasn't really much of a tackler, but Lampard scored goals. And then Steven Gerrard could run and tackle, but he couldn't pass as well as Paul Scholes. All of them had their limits, do you know what I mean? If we're just going to pick what players can't do, we can go to loads of players and say, right, certain players can't do anything. There's not many footballers that can do pretty much everything there is to be done in the game. Wan-Bissaka is a great defender, but he's crap on the ball. Do you know what I mean? Trent Alexander's great on the ball, but he's not a great defender. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always players. Players are going to have limitations. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't like using numbers to discuss positions. It's annoying, bro, but people want to use numbers now to do everything. KDB has the luxury to have the freedom to roam with City. Exactly. The system that Kevin De Bruyne is in allows him to roam around the pitch, pick up the ball without players on him, because KDB is not press resistant. Arsenal stuck a man-to-man mark him and absolutely disappeared him from the game. Kevin De Bruyne, if you fist the ball into him with someone on him, most of the time time Kevin De Bruyne receives the ball, it's in complete space. I've never seen De Bruyne hold people off and roll them and spin and go past them. He ain't got that in his locker. So when people are comparing Kevin De Bruyne, who receives the ball in a wide right with no one on him, to Paul Pogba, who receives it in the midfield and can back into people, put his foot on it and roll them and spin them, them man don't play alike. They don't play the same position, innit? The Pogba and De Bruyne comparison is actually not even a good comparison physically on their position and also their level of ability and what they do well. That's why comparing Bruno Fernandes, who has a lot more freedom in Manchester United team, to Kevin De Bruyne makes way more sense. And De Bruyne is clear of Bruno Fernandes, clear of him. Man said your Wi-Fi has been deported, fam.
Bro, I don't even know what happened, man. That's mad. Akeem's Wi-Fi is out like De Gea.
Yeah, can you call Kevin De Bruyne a modern day 10? He is a modern day number 10. He is, but he plays from the right hand side.
So what are you saying about the, KDB then? How good is
KDB is a modern day number 10 / number 8, playing from the right hand side in Manchester United, Manchester City, and being called a central midfielder when he's not one. He's not a central midfielder. Central midfielders play box to box, blood. That's what they do. Pogba's a centre midfielder. Kante's a centre midfielder. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, these men are centre mids, bro. They get dirty on both ends of the pitch and that. Kevin De Bruyne receives the ball, yeah, in the attacking third, attacking half most of the time. Pogba's picking up the ball from the goalkeeper. How are you comparing these two men?
Yeah.
His comparison is Bruno Fernandes, who has a free role in Manchester United's team and runs around and picks up the ball in attacking areas. We should be judging Kevin De Bruyne against Bruno, blood. That's what we should be doing, because they play similar positions. It's just that De Bruyne plays from the right, Bruno plays from the centre, but they're both effectively number 10s. This myth that Kevin De Bruyne is a box-to-box midfielder needs to die. Stop comparing him to players that actually have to defend, actually have to control the tempo of games and that. He doesn't have to do that, bro. That's what they've got Fernandinho for. That's what they've got David Silva for. De Bruyne is not the engine in that Manchester City team. He's not.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But then I guess it's just, and what you also have to realize is that the way that City play, they play through KDB as well in terms of the attacking form. Like when they're in the front.
They play through him like Liverpool play through Trent, but that doesn't mean that Trent's the main attacking.
No, he's definitely not. What I'm saying is KDB picks up the ball. You can see, like, when you watch City play, you can see they look up. When it gets to the final third, they're looking up and they're looking for KDB. They're not looking actually to pick out Jesus or Aguero with a mad pass. They're looking, or Sterling or Mahrez. They're looking to KDB, like how Barcelona looked to Messi. So he's getting the ball.
No. Not like that. KDB is what David Beckham was to the Manchester United team when we had him. David Beckham wasn't our main playmaker, but we knew when we got the ball to Beckham, he would get it to Rude. That's
an unpopular opinion right there, you know.
It's not an unpopular opinion. David Beckham wasn't the main playmaker in that Manchester United team, but we knew that he was the guy that could put the ball into the box for Ruud van Nistelrooy. So we got the ball to David Beckham. It's that simple, bro. It's that simple. And then we had Ryan Giggs on the other side, and they had Raheem Sterling on the other side. But ultimately, David Beckham was the guy that could put the ball in dangerous areas. And that's exactly what Kevin De Bruyne does. But Scholes was still the guy that controlled the midfield. Kevin De Bruyne don't control the midfield, bro. Like, he's the guy that puts the icing on the cake.
100%.
But he don't bake the cake. Central midfielders bake the cake, blood.
Yeah.
Scholes baked the cake. Steven Gerrard baked the cake. Yaya Toure baked the cake.
Yeah.
De Bruyne ain't baking no cake, fam.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. So don't compare it. Like, Bruno's not baking the cake, blood. He's at the top end to receive the ball, higher up than Martial so he can bang a shot. You're not baking the cake, fam.
But
so we need to compare them two.
But where do you put him then in terms of if you're looking at that position, which is let's just say attacking midfield.
There you go, final ball specialist, blood. That's what Kevin De Bruyne is, a final ball specialist. That's what Bruno's meant to be, but Bruno's final ball can't chat to KDB's final ball.
No, he can't. Still.
There you go. Bruno's a final ball specialist, but he's not the engine.
But where do you put him? Attacking midfield. If you had
he's an attacking midfielder, bruv. That's why he's not a centre mid.
If you had to say attacking midfielders, though, in quality in the Premier League era, would you say he's like top 3, top 2? Attacking
midfielders. But then we're looking at David Silva, Mesut Ozil,
Lampard. But like you said,
but in terms of attacking midfielders, I think that Kevin De Bruyne has to be one of the best.
For real, like I would say
of the era. Yeah, he has to be one of them.
I would say certain man like Lampard is above him only because Lampard could play he could play as almost like just off the striker in it. He could play in that position where he is shooting 5 to 10 times in a game, innit? And comfortably. Whereas I feel like the man said about final ball specialists, KDB is best where there's 2 or 3 men running in front of him, innit? And I feel that's his best position. But bro, give him the respect. Like I said,
Kevin De Bruyne is best when he's got a free role, where he can float around and create, bro. That's when he's at his best. When he plays more of a deeper role for Belgium, he don't look good, bro. In the World Cup, Hazard was their main player, bro. It wasn't De Bruyne.
A man said Prime Ozil is better than Prime KDB.
Bro, Prime Ozil was an absolute problem. However, Ozil is an old school number 10 and KDB is a modern number 10. Do you know what I mean? They're not the same era of footballer, like stylistically, innit? Like one matters an old school number 10 with no pace, mad vision, clever passes. That can't run now.
That don't run back. Yeah, all of that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That don't work now. Kevin De Bruyne is a much better athlete than Mata and Ozil. Much better athlete. You know that, man. Much better athlete. But Kevin De Bruyne is not a central midfielder. Man need to get that out of their head. Like, he's not, bro. If you understand football, you understand that a central midfielder does everything. Kevin De Bruyne don't do everything in that system. He doesn't, bro. You know what I mean? This is saying KDB is the main function of the system. No, he's not.
I didn't even say that.
And Akeem didn't say that. You see, when man hear what they want to hear, bro. Kevin De Bruyne is not the main function of the Manchester City system, bro. He is the guy that plays the final ball more often than not. More often than not. That's where assists come from, the final ball.
Exactly.
That's what he is. He's the final ball specialist. When you play deeper, like an Iniesta, for instance, he didn't get many assists because he used to play the pass before the assist. He wasn't the final ball specialist.
Why do you think the media makes him... Bro, I've never heard anyone say anything bad about KDB. Like, in all my years listening to commentators, he is the most loved player, in the world. The way these men talk about him. The guy, and don't get twisted, he does some phenomenal things in it, but my man does a short pass, And the way people talk about, the way the commentators...
Like the way he got his knee over the ball, technique. Get out, man, blood. You know what I'm saying, bro? This is what it is. KDB don't drop deep, blood. If he's a central midfielder, how come you never see when City are losing, you don't see KDB picking up the ball on the edge of the box off the goalkeeper and trying to create things from deep? That's not his role in the team because he's not a central midfielder. Get it out of your heads, bro. He's not a CM, blood.
Yeah.
He's not a CM. He never was.
Yeah.
Man really are just trying to compare man that they shouldn't compare. Compare Kevin De Bruyne to Bruno Fernandes, blood. That's who you need to compare him to. Stop comparing him to Paul Pogba. You can't do it. They don't play the same position, bro.
I gotta say that in talking about Man City system as well and talking about engine, Man City obviously need to remember. A lot of people need to remember that they're going to lose Fernandinho and David Silva this summer, innit? So that whole engine in that midfield is going to have to completely reshift and change around. And KDB, it'll be interesting to see how he plays alongside 2 or 3 new men. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I can't see Rodri being the man who's playing 38 games next season.
Yeah, Rodri runs like he's towing a caravan as well, blood. You know them ones. He's a big youth still. You know them ones. I don't know if the pace of the Premier League he's built for that. You know them ones. I don't think he's built for that, like for 20 odd games. I don't really think he is. Do you know what I mean? But I think Kevin De Bruyne is a top player. I think that people that don't understand systems, are comparing him to players they shouldn't be comparing him to. I think that it actually is a disservice to real central midfielders that actually do way more than comparing KDB's numbers. Of course, his numbers are going to dwarf their numbers, bro. He's an attacking midfielder in a system that allows him to roam around in the attacking areas, pick up the ball, and add the finishing pieces to a painting that's already pretty much done. You know what I'm saying? That's what he does.
But then even talking about that as a sideway bit, obviously we've got one more game left of the season. Many people are saying, even though City are finishing second comfortably, they're saying KDB should easily win Player of the Year. Like, who would you say Player of the Year should actually go? Who's been better than KDB, or do you feel KDB is the man who should actually win? Football Writers, I know I voted the other day. Personally, I didn't vote for him, but I feel like he probably will end up winning them awards. Because of what his consistency across this season. What do you think?
Right, KDB will win the awards, because they love him, innit? These things are popularity contests, Akeem. That's what they are. Like my man said, Man City got 98 points without De Bruyne. Nobody mentions it.
Yeah.
Nobody mentions it. So that means the team was already wavy without man, innit?
Yeah.
You know them, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is, bro. It's like the Kevin Durant when he went to Golden State, blood. They would have probably won the ring. They would have got the ring without you anyway, fam. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is, isn't it? So when I see this De Bruyne thing, it also shows, that the system's more important than the player. And he's just a player that fits perfectly into that system because he's a very high quality player. But at the end of the day, Man City were doing it without him. You know, like that. So
that's what it's not. That's a big comment, to be honest. And it's like,
and I said that he's not the engine, Akeem. He's not the engine.
It's not even just engine thing.
Take Pogba out of the Man United team for the whole season. They're struggling to finish in the top 10. Let alone win the league.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of games where City were probably winning 2-0 without KDB anyway, but now they're going to win it 5-0 with KDB. Do you know what I'm saying? But they're still picking up the same W. Yeah, and sometimes it comes to also importance. Man ain't trying to say KDB is not even important to Man City, but if you look at a situation because that's with a player who's not an engine of the team, like Harry Kane at Tottenham, you take Harry Kane out of Tottenham, bro, they normally always go on a bad run of form. Do you know what I'm saying? When he's playing,
he's frozen again, Ak. I think Akeem's frozen again, bro. Oh, mate. Akeem's frozen. Oh, yeah, Akeem's frozen again. Man's calling out Rodri. Yeah, Rodri's another fridge, blood. You know the man. He's like the Spanish Harry Maguire, blood, playing centre mid. He's one of the best ever. Bro, like, we need to just stop comparing Pogba to KDB, blood. I'm tired of it, bro. They're not the same. Yeah, what were you saying about Harry Kane, my guy?
Nah, I'm just saying, like, Harry Kane, obviously, he's not really the engine. He's not the engine of the Tottenham team, obviously. But when you take Harry Kane out of Tottenham and he's injured, you see they always go on a bad run of form. You can see the difference of what he makes when he's there and when he's not. And I'm not just talking about goals anyway. But like I said, KDB, when he wasn't there for almost 85% of that season, like the guy said, they got 98 points. So that's it.
Exactly,
that's
bro.
It.
And this
but
is the
like
thing.
Said, anyway, the awards are going to probably go to Henderson and KDB in it. Henderson's going to scoop up pretty much most of them awards. Captain Fantastic. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but this is the thing, it shows, it proper shows the fact that how well they done without him, that, bro, it's the system. And it's just, that was my same thing with the Sterling debate as well. It's just like, he's a good player, but bro, like, look at the system. If you can take KDB out of that system and still win the league, then you can take a Sterling out of that system and still win the league. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it says so much about Pep's coaching and the system more than anything else, my guy. So because of that, when we're judging these players in the system, we have to bear in mind that the system is very, very good. It's the same in Liverpool. The system is very, very good.
Liverpool's a perfect example because, like I said, even when we look at these awards now, I was looking at even goals and assists. I was looking at some of the overview of even how this season's gone, and I'm thinking, no Liverpool player even screams out, look, bro, when you win the league by this much, even if they flopped in
You
last
think there's that one player that's clear to win everything?
Bro, you'd think they'll have 2 or 3 players that are just clearly better than everyone else in the league this season, bro. They haven't really had anyone that's mad performed like in that. Even Salah's just had an okay season by his standards in the last 3 or 4. It's not like, do you know what I'm saying? That proves that's a team performance this season that's carried them through, and it's a tactics-based, it's a system-based success that they've felt this season. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not just based on VVD or oh, it's because of Salah, or it's because of Mane. Bro, their whole team is just waved. The whole team has performed on an elite level, but no one in particular. Do you know what I'm saying?
But this is it, bro. So imagine them man have won the run the Prem, and no one's screaming out for player of the season, and that shows you how efficiently the team is put together in terms of a system. You see what I mean? So when we're thinking about individual players, you can't not take into account the system that they play in, bro. You can't, innit? You know what I mean? It's a disservice if you don't, innit? So it's one of them ones. Because Liverpool won the league, they're probably going to try and give it to a Liverpool player. You know what I mean?
Of course. They'll have to.
I mean? But Mo Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, Jordan Henderson, all of them man are not better than Kevin De Bruyne. They're not.
No, they're not.
They're not better than him. Do you know what I mean? I think that goes without saying. They are not better than Kevin De Bruyne. However, if he wins it, no one can argue, bro, because he's the guy that stands out. He's the guy that stands out, bro, because he's the guy that plays the final ball most of the time. He gets the headlines, isn't it?
There's a couple, but that's the thing, isn't it? There's a couple of unsung heroes this season as well who don't play for the big clubs, like Danny Ings and James Vardy. Like, who would have thought, man, like Danny Ings is going to get 21 Premier League goals? Do you know what I'm saying? That's mad. 3-4 years ago, he was a laughing stock. Do you know what I'm saying? On many levels. So,
100%.
So respect to him, players like him. But then, man, you know, innit? They're never going to win any awards, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? They don't win awards because obviously they don't play for the big clubs. And the people who are picking, it doesn't fit. It doesn't make enough of a justifiable reason in it. It's got to go to one of usually the title winners or a player that is usually hitting headlines week in, week out. So it is what it is. But big up all of those players. There's a lot of unsung heroes this season, to be honest. There's been a lot of flops, but there's been a lot of players who have come into a different league that I never even thought they'll hit. I never thought Danny Ings will reach the levels that he's reached this season, but you know.
That's what I mean. Who's your player of the year, guys? Let us know in the comment section. Someone just said, what thoughts on Sadio Mane, blood? Like, what are your thoughts on Sadio Mane?
What you mean as a player?
Yeah, he's saying that he's been Liverpool's best player. How do you rate him?
This season? Well, yeah, like it's a tough one. Yeah, he has. To be honest, he has only because the first 6 months of the season, he was their best player by a country mile. That's ultimately what won it for them, innit? Like the last couple of months, it don't really matter because they had it wrapped up from when they were probably end of February or something, or even before that, mid-February. So end of the day, what matters is their first 6 months, and Sadio Mane was the best player for them 6 months. So give him the respect. Do you know what I'm saying? On stats, which I know it don't matter, but for what it's worth, I think goals and assists, I think Salah is actually number 1 in the country right now in terms of he's got the most goals plus assists in it. But end of the day, Mane's played better. Mane's played better, I think, across the season. But they're all important in it. Firmino, Mane, Salah, everyone wants to talk about who's better out of the 3. They're all important in different ways because Mane, to the system. Mane's just got the technique and he's relentless in his performances, whereas Salah's just clutch in it. Salah seems to get the goal when it matters a lot of the time, and obviously we all know what Firmino does. A lot of people want to cuss out Firmino every week with new stats about how he's only scored 8 or 9 goals this season, but bro, he's the one laughing in it. He's the one who's World Club champion, Champions League champion, and Premier League all at the same damn time, innit? So that's it. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't laugh at a man who's doing that. Do you know what I'm saying? He's proven himself on the quality, but bro, he's never gonna be a stat mate. He's never gonna look good in stats, innit? So
that's not his role. His role isn't to look good. His role isn't to look good like on paper, bruv. His role is to play. Do you know what I'm saying? Is to just play and facilitate other players, bro. That's what he does. It's the same with Giroud. When France won the World Cup and everyone was like, oh yeah, he's rubbish. He didn't have a shot on target, bro. But that wasn't his job. And that's what it is. Like, people always want to try and pick holes in certain things, but his job was not to have shots on target, and that his job was to bring in other players so they can play, bro. And effectively, that's what Giroud did, and that's what he does for the team. And I think Firmino does a similar thing for Liverpool as well. People choose to not want to see it, yeah. But he's not even a striker, bro. He's an attacking midfielder playing as a pivot up front. That's what he is. He's just an attacking pivot. That's all he is, bro. He's not a striker. He's never been a striker. He never will be a striker. He was bought as an attacking midfielder. So I just
because a man looks at formations online and they see him up top, they just think, oh, how many goals has he got? Bro, there's many different types of strikers in it. We say it every week, in it. There's a reason why a man like McGoldrick at Sheffield United is still in the team. He scored like 4 goals all season. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's not a single Sheffield United fan that watches him every week that would say
he shouldn't be playing
100% in it. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. But stat padding always helps to fit an agenda at some point. Do you know what I'm saying? In this point in time, as much as I don't like Liverpool, you can't say anything to them, innit? You can't say anything to them right now. Do you know what I'm saying? They've done their business. They've done their job. They won the league in style. It don't matter if they lose their last 2 games, which I know they're playing Chelsea today, which is a huge match, innit? But, tomorrow. They're playing tomorrow, innit? They're playing today or tomorrow? No, they're playing today, innit? They're playing Chelsea today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're playing Chelsea today. Big game, but it don't matter to them. They've done their job.
It doesn't. All right, and boy, North London, we got to finish off. Tottenham finished above Arsenal again. And you know what? It's like, bro, the seat for them. If I was a Tottenham fan, I'll be most upset about that Champions League final still, in it, just because. In fact, that Prime Video is coming out soon, innit? But bro, I can't believe they even done a video on just a failure, something not succeeding like that over a season. But anyway, it'll be good to watch. But that was so important for them to win that, because if they won that alongside what they've done to Arsenal over the last 4 or 5 years in terms of catching up with them in terms of quality, I feel Arsenal fans will have to start being quiet about the banter in it. But unfortunately, they still ain't got no trophy. They ain't shown no armpits in at all for 12 years now. No armpits at all. Not even a flipping, bro. Nothing. I was about to say Community Shield, but to get even into that, you need to win something, innit? But it's just a joke, innit? It's a joke to Spurs, but Spurs can at least maybe see some light at the end of the tunnel that they're in. Look, if I was a Tottenham fan, even though I'm not winning nothing, I'll be like, we are better now than we were in general 5 years or 7 years or 10 years ago, when we were scrapping and 7th was a success. Now 7th is a failed season, and they are a team now that you would think is going for the top 4 or more every year. So their expectations got better. They got a better stadium now. They need better players. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? What do you think about the whole Arsenal versus Tottenham thing in North London? It's a weird one, isn't it? It's a weird one because Tottenham are like at the end of their cycle now, isn't it? So it'll be more interesting to see where they finish next season.
Yeah.
So Tottenham have had their 4-year cycle where they finished above Arsenal, haven't won nothing, got to a Champions League final. Arsenal haven't got to a Champions League final. But I think in that same amount of time, Arsenal have won more than Tottenham. So it's one of them ones. Like, Tottenham are definitely better than Arsenal right now as it stands. But as far as I'm concerned, until you win something, that doesn't mean anything. It's the same with us, yeah. City are definitely better than Man United, but bruv, we got so many more trophies than you that you can't just be like, cool, Manchester's flipping blue. It's not, bruv.
The sad part of it is that Tottenham and Arsenal have both they've declined in the last 2 years. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. 2 years ago, both of them looked like that they were a couple of players off challenging for the top trophies, innit? But now they look like now they're just scrapping. They're in the second tier. Do you know what I'm saying? And if Man United and Chelsea strengthen like we expect, it's going to be that gap between even the top four now of Chelsea, City, United, and Chelsea, and you know what four I'm talking about, and the others catching up is going to be big. Do you know what I'm saying? That gap's going to be big, and they need to make sure that they sign players to fit that problem. But you know what? Just before we go, I was going to say we haven't even spoke about just the relegation still.
Yeah. I'm praying Watford stay up, boy, but bruv, the way they're moving right now.
Why you say that for Troy?
Yeah, bruv, just for the man, them in it, Troy, Andre, Max, and that. You get me? Like, I want the man them to stay up. You get me? And
what's your thought on the whole Nigel Pearson thing?
I thought it's a joke, innit? It's like, unless something personal's gone on behind the scenes, which probably has, why he got sacked. Because why else would you sack a man 2 days before? You know that, I mean, 2 games before. He probably told the chairman some
Nigel Pearson looks like the sort of guy that just said, would just be like, piss off. That
the chairman said something and he said, what? Fuck off. You know what I mean? You know them ones there? Like, I can see one of them ones. Know what I mean? That's the only thing that can make me think, yeah. Either that or he had a major bust up in the dressing room to the point where he completely lost the dressing room and he had to go.
It's a weird one, isn't it? I think I can't remember anyone doing something like this. I think Chris Hughton might have got sacked. No. I think Chris Hughton got sacked the game before the final game or something with Brighton. I might be wrong, but I think they were already safe or something like that. Anyway, but I've never seen something like this happen when you're so close to surviving. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest, I think I want Watford to stay up as well, innit? I personally, it will be Watford the team that I would want to stay up, but I fear for Watford, innit? I think Bournemouth and Villa have a win in them on that final day. Who's
their last game, Watford?
Let me just check quickly. This is a tight one at the bottom still. It's a tight one.
I'm saying that he's punched a player before and Pearson's a mad guy.
I see. Look, so Villa's got West Ham, but West Ham are already safe, so that could easily go. Bournemouth's got Everton. Do you know what I'm saying? So that
he can get back still.
Watford's got Arsenal still at home, out away.
Ooh. It depends on which Arsenal they get.
Yeah, and Arsenal might rest players because next Saturday is the cup final, innit? I think
right.
So.
That means Watford have to get like a draw against Arsenal and Villa have to lose or something. Yeah.
They have to draw. If Villa win and Watford draw and Watford lose, they're down. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's not in Watford's hands anymore.
It's not in Watford's hands still. Villa win, they're surviving. They got West Ham, which is an all right game to have, to be honest, on your final day. But who knows? Like, bro, I don't know. Like, I kind of like Villa in some ways. So
yeah, Villa are a big club as well, to be honest. But if they go down, it makes it easier to get Grealish. You know them ones. So.
Them ones, and the championship's ending today, so we'll see who goes up. We'll see who's going to be going to the playoffs. See if Fulham's going to join the league again, innit? But
interesting, very interesting, man. Very interesting to see what goes down, man. It's going to be one of them final days where whoever goes down, it's going to be tense, bro. Because in an ideal situation, I want Watford and Villa to stay up. You know them.
So no love for Bournemouth then, no?
No, I don't care about them, bruv. You know what I mean? Like Seaside FC, blood. Them man there, they're not a Premier League team. You know what I mean? They serve their purpose now. You know them. They serve their purpose. Can piss off now. Can fuck off. You know what I mean? Leagues are coming back. Proper decent sized football team, innit? Like a Premier League team, like. You know what I mean? Bournemouth, get out of here, bruv. Them man are known for unis and that, bruv. Get out of here. That's mad, fam.
The cherry.
That's what I mean. I don't really care about Bournemouth like that. You know what I mean? People go down there to retire, rude boy. Like that's just what it is. But like I've got no affiliation for them. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think West Ham game tonight will be hard. Do you know what I'm saying? And then West Ham against Villa will be hard for Villa as well because West Ham, they're dogged, innit? Now they've already stayed up though. They could take their foot off the gas. We don't know.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it comes down to. There's so many teams that don't have anything to play for, innit? And end of the day, like that's why the hardest game. In fact, to be honest, they've all got winnable games. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a mad one. It's going to be 3 teams going for the top 4. 3 teams going for the drop on the final day. It's probably going to go to the wire, innit?
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see.
We will see indeed, bruv. But yo, big up everyone. Big up everyone for tuning in. Make sure you slap the like button before you leave. Had over 1,000 people watching. I think we saw in here that there's only 250 likes or something. So get them likes up. Big up. Pre-match stuff's gonna be coming later on as we do the build up to the game. So I'll be back, and then post-match as usual. So hopefully, might just get the 3 points tonight. What's your match prediction for tonight, Ann?
I'm gonna say 2-0 still. Like based on the factors we've been mentioning, I don't think West Ham's gonna, bro. It should be straightforward, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it should be straightforward, but we'll see what Man United show up. I think we'll be back to our Prem form, innit? Like realistically, like after what's happened. a man said if Man United lose, then Ollie's sacked. That's too much.
But that's not the case. That's not the case. No, man say if United don't make top 4, yeah, and don't win a trophy, fam, alright, it could get tense, you know. It could get extremely tense. We need to win today, you know. Anything less than a win today, and I think I might lose my mind.
Oh yeah, so wait, even if we lose today, we just have to beat Leicester, innit? And then we go, we're in
the goal difference, innit?
Nah, well, goal difference is 28-28. We've got the same goal difference still.
Okay, so yeah, if we just have to beat Leicester. Okay.
Bro, if we
still having to beat Leicester at their place is not the ideal position to go into.
100%, bro. If we bottle this, yeah, oh my days, somehow. Anyway, we'll leave it. We'll keep it positive, innit? Man United, what's your prediction anyway? What are you saying?
I'm not sure yet. I have to wait until I see the team. That's why I'm gonna wait for my preview. When the team comes out,
these times Ollie's gonna feel Daniel James and Matt are in that.
If he feels that, man, oh, hey, the head's going.
Bro, when man saw the starting 11 with Daniel James up top, yeah. Oh my days. Against
bro, you see what I mean? That's why I'm waiting till I see the team. You get me? So when I see the team, guys, that's when I'm gonna give you my match prediction, man. But big up for watching. Smash the like. Make sure you go follow Akeem if you haven't already. Obviously, the at's at the bottom. You get me? And we'll catch you, man, soon.
Yes, bro.